Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Gilad Japhet. I'm the founder and CEO of MyHeritage. And today I will present to you 7 exceptional technologies that help you make genealogical discoveries. But before diving into the technologies, I want to begin with a short video that will illustrate the importance of these technologies and the impact that they sometimes have on people's lives.
Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. We've since emigrated, like the Brooklyn Dodgers, out to California. My quest in genealogy started around about 1972. That was well before the advent of the personal computer. Here I was researching things with pen and paper and chicken scratching notes. We knew very little about our family. There was the Holocaust, there was the coming down of the Iron Curtain, and those things sealed off a flow of communications that was available to us. Who survived, who didn't survive, we simply didn't know. With MyHeritage, a smart match occurred instantly. I found out many generations did survive the Holocaust. I could feel the hair on my arms just bristle when I actually put it together. People that we thought that were completely lost, they survived. And this was my family, my close family that we discovered. Genealogy it's about a living, breathing, growing tree. And now we're all close again, sharing this kind of intimate history with each other. Ledor Vador, that's Hebrew for from generation to generation. That generation should connect with each other. Grandpa brought this with him from Europe. It was his connection to Europe. It became connected to me, and this will be my grandson's after I'm gone. Ledor Vador.
So this is MyHeritage user David Greenberg discovering a family thought to be lost in Lithuania, and he later reunited with an entire branch of his family. And this is an example of what a single smart match can do. So today, I'm going to talk about technologies that MyHeritage innovated, and you'll notice that they are all layered. They're built on top of each other, each leveraging the strengths of the others. And 5 of the technologies that I'm going to describe already exist, so I'm going to go over them rather briefly. 2 of them are a special treat for you, because they are brand new and have not been described. One of them is going live today, and one of them is going live next month. And I will be putting some more focus on the latter 2. Now, because this is a very dense, condensed presentation, I'm going to run through it rather quickly. Please reserve your questions to the end. And if we don't have time, you're welcome to catch me in the halls. I'll be staying here, and you're welcome to ask me later any question. But first of all, why are we working so hard to build technologies for genealogy? Many people think that this is a human passion, that human intelligence is required to do it, and a computer can never replace it. This is true, but technologies can help accelerate our work and improve it and optimize it. There will always be a need for us to draw the conclusions and do the research, but technologies can make our life a lot easier. And one of the most important things they can do is help us with one particular asset that is becoming more and more scarce. Do any of you know what it is? Yes, correct. This is time. This is a nice saying by Napoleon. You can ask of me anything you wish except for my time. all of us have less and less spare time, and this is where technologies can help us. The way I see it, technologies for genealogy predominantly help save you time. They allow you to spend your time thinking and drawing conclusions, coming up with unique ideas, rather than wasting your time conducting thousands of futile searches and running into dead ends. No person in their lifetime can possibly search every person in their family tree throughout all the possible sources out there and repeat that every month because new information comes online all the time. Of course, searching offline as well. It's simply impossible. And this is where technologies can help. And today, you can often achieve in days what would have taken you years just a couple of years ago. The first technology I will describe is the first one we came out with, and it's called smart matching. Smart matches are tree-to-tree matches, meaning that a smart match is a person in your family tree thought to be the same person in someone else's family tree. The matching process is very, very complex, and it is based on comparing names and dates and facts and relationships and a lot of additional information. The main benefit of smart matches is that if you get them, there is a family tree out there and somebody owns it. There is another user on the other side, a person. And this is really exciting because you can get in touch with that person and meet somebody who is likely related to you, and maybe you never knew this person existed before. You can learn a lot more information from getting in touch with that person. Maybe this person has a wealth of photos and letters from your ancestors that you don't have. And maybe you have some gifts that you can give this other person. This is the beauty of the smart matches. They connect between people. But you have to use them with caution because many people have mistakes in their family tree. And it's up to you to verify the information to the best of your ability. There will always remain mistakes, and we're all committed to fight them and correct them over time. And a single smart match can change the life of a person or an entire family, as in the example of Dave Greenberg that I've shown you. Smart matches appear on your family tree, and you see them on MyHeritage as those green symbols. You can look at your smart matches in two ways: by person and review all the matches of a single person in your family, or you can look at another tree and review all the matches that the other tree has with your tree. As you can see here on the screen, you will be shown the information from your tree on the left and from the other tree on the right, and you can easily see what new information awaits you. Sometimes it will be photos or names and relatives that you don't have. Sometimes you will see that you have childhood photos of the person and the other person shows them all grown up, as in this example here. It's always fascinating. You can get in touch with the owner of the other tree. You can confer matches and you can take information into your family tree. Many people don't know that you can view matches side by side. So you can view your tree and the other tree side by side and see what new and incremental information exists in the other tree, as in this example shown here. Now, smart matches protect privacy. You will not see the details of living people who are not present in your own tree, but you will see that such living people exist. You'll be able to contact the other tree owner and ask for that information. As of last week, smart matches are now available also on our mobile app for iPhone, iPad, and Android. So this is very good news if you are using our mobile apps. Just upgrade to the latest version. The accuracy of matches is extremely important. We don't want to cry wolf and give you incorrect matches, leading to loss of your trust in the matches. So we have developed what we call the devil's advocate. This is special technology that tries to prove why each match is actually wrong. So instead of looking at all the factors that make a match correct and allow its discovery. We're also looking at all the contradicting information, and sometimes it is very subtle. For example, a person in your tree who was born and died in Australia may match another person, birth and death unknown, who married in Kansas in the United States. Now, 200 years ago, it was not likely that someone would be born in Australia, get married in Kansas, and return to die to Australia. They would stay in the United States. So this match is likely incorrect. We take all these factors with positive and negative factors, and we then conclude if the match is correct or not. Our accuracy is extremely high. Now, it's hard to judge if a match is accurate, so we take the user's word for it. Users confirm or reject matches according to whether they think they are correct or wrong. Of course, users also make mistakes. But the ratio of confirmations to rejections on MyHeritage is now above 97.6%. And this is based on a lot of data. For example, last month alone, 22 million smart matches were single-handedly, one by one, confirmed by our users, and only 500,000 of them were rejected. Our technology grows smarter and smarter using those confirmations and rejections, tries to avoid repeating mistakes, and tries to learn where it got things right. Now, smart matches are like comparing apples to apples because we are comparing one family tree to another family tree. But sometimes you need to compare apples to oranges. And this is where record matching comes in, the second technology. Record matching compares your family tree to historical records. Historical records can be birth and marriage and death and census records and divorce records and even hunting permits, all kinds of historical records. We currently have 3.5 billion historical records plus 2.6 billion family tree profiles, total of 6.1 billion. What we do through our smart matching and record matching is we constantly compare the data in your family tree to all the data that we have every single day, every hour. And whenever we find something new, we notify you. On your family tree on MyHeritage, the record matches are illustrated with the brown symbols. You can look at your record matches by person or by collection. Here, I'm showing the record matches for my real family tree against the Billion Graves collection of gravestones. And you can see 3 matches here. The third one is rather unique. I don't know if you can see it from the distance, but you can see Shlomo Machnes from my family, my father's uncle, matched to a gravestone of Shlomo Machnes in Hebrew. Now, this is magic. How did it match my English family tree profile with a Hebrew gravestone? So, that is an enhancement to record matching that was released today. And if you wait 10 more minutes patiently, I'll get to that enhancement. But you can see the power of these record matches. Here's another example showing matches from my tree against a fantastic collection of Rio de Janeiro immigration cards, people who tried to get a visa to immigrate to Brazil. There were many Jews who immigrated to Brazil. And in this collection, I received a match with a relative of my wife, her great uncle. And when I received this match, and it includes his photograph, and my wife sent this photograph to the descendants of this person, this brought tears to their eyes. This is the example of the power of record matches. And you can see that the spelling is different between the Moshe in my family tree and the Moshe in the immigration card, but this is peanuts compared to what the technology really does. When you get a record match, you can view the record, and if there is an original document, you can easily save it to your family tree. And we give you convenient tools to extract the information directly into your family tree, as shown here. Now, I wasn't quite satisfied with record matching because remember I talked about comparing apples to oranges? What if you want to compare apples to blood grapefruits? There was one particular type of record that was elusive, and these are newspapers. Newspapers are an amazing source of genealogical information because they don't contain just names and dates, but they contain entire stories. And if you want to understand what your ancestors were really like, almost the best thing you can find is a newspaper article about them. Newspaper articles are a bunch of text, and it is very challenging to automatically match between a newspaper article and a family tree. How do you do that? Because the newspaper article is not structured. It doesn't tell you that the protagonist is a certain person and that this is the obituary and there are certain other people named who are relatives of that person. So we took up that challenge on ourselves and we developed the first technology in the world to match newspapers to family trees. We did this by doing semantic analysis of the newspaper articles, of which we have more than 2 billion newspaper articles. We understand what the article is about. We collect all the names, the relationships, all the protagonists, and all the information about them, and then we match it with family trees. The result is often magical. Newspaper matches are a subset of our record matches, but this is based on an entirely separate and quite revolutionary technology. So I will give you 2 examples of this. The first comes from a family tree of a very well-known genealogist called Randy Seaver. You may be following his blog, Genia Musings, that has been running for perhaps 10 years or more. We took his family tree of 40,000 people to see if we can teach this old genealogist something new. And this is a person from his family tree, Laura May Underhill, maiden name Sterling. Randy did not know much about her. He knew the name of her husband, no children. We were able to automatically locate a newspaper match from a very small town in Michigan from August 1959, an obituary. And at the end of the obituary, it says that she was the widow of the mayor of the whole town who died in a plane crash, and they left behind a son who was a judge. All of that startling new information for Randy Seaver and opens doors for additional research. Now, Randy could have, theoretically, searched for this information, but it would have required years, and this was done automatically. Here's another example from my own family tree. This is a third cousin once removed, Solomon Deitch. I didn't know much about him, but somehow I had information about the marriage of this person. And MyHeritage automatically found a newspaper article about the wedding of this person and his wife, and it had the very intriguing title, Love Needed No Words. And when you read, it mentions that the Jewish wedding was conducted in sign language because husband and wife were deaf-mute. And you can see their lovely photos. And they had 3 children later. So this is something amazing I would not have found on my own. And you can get this simply by having your family tree on MyHeritage and let our technology do the work automatically. So I've covered smart matches and record matches and newspaper matching, which is a subset of record matches. Then we thought, how do we combine those technologies to get an even stronger effect? The previous technologies began with your family tree. But what if you find a record that seems to be relevant? You are using a search engine, and you chance upon a record that is a good fit for one of your ancestors. This is where the record detective steps in. What it does is it looks if this record had record matched any individuals in any MyHeritage family trees. Then it checks if those individuals had smart matched any other individuals on MyHeritage family trees? And did those other individuals have record matches with other records? If so, then those other records are about the same person as the record that you are looking at now. So when you are looking at a record on MyHeritage, we go behind the scenes to try to find other records of the same person, and the results are often indistinguishable from magic. You have no idea how we did this, because the information in the record that you're looking at is not enough to find the other records that we give you. Here in the example shown here, there is a gravestone from the Billion Graves collection of Andrew J. Williams. And we were able to automatically suggest the California birth record, I believe, and Social Security Death Index. We found this person in the census, and we actually found a family tree of this person showing what they looked like. And we did this automatically based on the gravestone. Here's another example. My wife will forgive me for taking someone from her branch again. So this is Arthur Shankin, again found in the 1940 United States Federal Census. And here, the record detective finds his Social Security death record. It shows him in a family tree. It shows what his mother looked like and his brother. And it shows his brother in the 1920 Federal Census. All of this done automatically in extremely high accuracy, thanks to the accuracy of our underlying smart matching and record matching technologies. So that is the record detective. Here is an example that looks almost like magic. We have a California death record of a certain Frederick Thomas Blanchard, and MyHeritage is suggesting a newspaper article about the engagement of that person with his wife. Now, how did we do that? How did we take a death record and suggest the wedding of that person with his wife? Because of the matches with the family trees. And this person was very naughty because he was a university professor who is marrying his student, one of his students. So you never have this juicy information just from death records and birth records. You need the newspaper content for it. And it is so lovely that MyHeritage can deliver it to you automatically. This is based on the combination of newspaper matching as underlying technology for the record detective. Now, with all these technologies available, we were looking to do something even better. And specifically, we had new users in mind. The majority of you are very experienced genealogists. Some of you have been doing it for 30, 40, or 50 years, and some of you are beginners. But it is very important for all of us to have more and more people who love genealogy and do their research, because we all help each other. We were looking for a way to make genealogy easier for beginners. And this is where instant discoveries come in. This is a relatively new technology. We released it only in November last year. It's also based on smart matches and record matches. And it has a unique capability. It allows you to take all the information found into your family tree in one click. So, an instant discovery doesn't give you a discovery that a smart match or record match would not have. The difference is the ease in which you can apply that information into your tree. How do we do that? When you get a smart match or record match, we calculate the differences between your entire family tree and the other source of information, which can be another family tree or a census record or some other information source. And we try to calculate and illustrate all the information that is new and incremental to your family tree. Again, you need to exercise caution when you use instant discoveries, just like with any genealogical work, except that if you make a mistake, you've just added quite a lot of information that you don't want in your family tree. So double caution here. But imagine the benefit of a beginner user who signs up to MyHeritage and within 10, 20 seconds gets an amazing discovery about their ancestry and is able to add that information to their family tree in one click. And suddenly, they're looking at a fascinating information they've never seen before. This gives them such an amazing boost, such a great beginning into genealogy that they're far more likely to become interested and engaged. And one day, they will be sitting here at a genealogy conference just like you, as expert genealogists. Recently, we've added this to the family tree, and you can see it as a yellow card that says Discovery. If you hover your mouse over that card, it will tell you the information of that discovery. In this case, it shows me what that person really is, coming from another tree. The discovery card is a person that I do not have in my tree, but MyHeritage has figured out who that person is or should be. And then you click this, or you can also reach your discoveries from the Discovery Hub, which is a new page listing all your discoveries. Using a discovery is very easy. It's a two-step process. You just need to tell us first, is the discovery correct? Yes or no, based on the information that we supply you. So, discoveries are never applied automatically. You always are in control. But if you think that the discovery is correct, then you say yes. And then we show you what I call the benefits package, which is a large package of information that you do not have, that you can get in one click right into your family tree, thanks to this discovery. And you can see pictures and names and facts. And all you need to do is just click Add to My Tree at the bottom, and that information is yours. And for every person that we copy into your tree, we add source citations so you can track exactly where it came from. And if that person was taken from another place, there will be a chain of citations. We found that instant discoveries completely transform the experience of beginners and make them 4 times more likely to become engaged for good. This makes it probably the most important innovation that we ever developed since our inception. And now, I'm getting to the last 2 good ones, which are completely new. Technology number 6, I introduce you to SearchConnect. And you are watching this for the first time ever because no one has ever seen this. So first, I'm going to describe a scenario for you. Imagine the following. You're looking for an ancestor, a very elusive ancestor. You've been searching for that person for years and years. You search for that person and again, 0. You find nothing, no results. This person has not left any trace. But then, 1 year later, a distant relative of yours you've never heard of searches for that very same person. He also gets nothing at all, except that MyHeritage tells him that you were also searching for the same person. MyHeritage puts the 2 of you in touch with each other. And the fact that both of you were searching for the same person that has left no trace allows you to get in touch with each other. And this could lead to a Dave Greenberg style family reunion. So what SearchConnect does is it automatically transforms every search that you make into a record for other users. I came up with this idea on the first day that we launched our search engine, Super Search, in April of 2012. So I told my team, start collecting all the searches that the users are making, because one day when we will have time, we're going to launch SearchConnect. And we want to leverage all those searches that people are making on MyHeritage from day one. So we have collected so far many, many tens of millions of distinct searches. Now, most of you probably are familiar with the Jewish Gen Family Finder, which is a registry where people can sign up and provide the last names that they are researching and the towns. And many of you have that right on the lanyards. But that has only surnames and towns. MyHeritage SearchConnect has full names and dates and places and everything that people have been using as part of their searches. And MyHeritage SearchConnect adds a volume of information equivalent to the entire Jewish Gen Family Finder every single month. This is a huge database, extremely valuable, especially when searching for people that have left no trace at all. So this is an example of what it's going to look like next month when we release this. We are in the final stages of testing right now. You will be searching for a person, and of course at the top, we're going to show you actual records of the person that you are searching for. Sometimes we won't have any. But then at the bottom, we will show you a SearchConnect result. We will show you the user who searched for that information, and when, and what other pieces of information did they use. You can click this and see who this person is, and you will be able to see related searches that this person made. So if he searched for the same surname as yours, including some first names that you have in your family, this is going to be a very good sign that he's probably related to you and highly interested in your own family. The most important thing you can do here, contact that person. So this is fostering collaboration. And you can easily opt out. You can easily turn off the feature if you don't want MyHeritage to record the searches that you've made, and they will be destroyed. In fact, some of you who have sharp eyes may have noticed that we've had this since 3 years ago, but it was not connected to any functionality. But next month it will. So SearchConnect is an automatic researcher repository. It's a lifesaver, especially when you are searching for people who have left no trace behind, but also in many other cases. And we are thinking of turning this on initially only for relatively rare surnames. We won't tell you if someone else looked for John Smith, because that's not very important. But if somebody was looking for Yechezkel Klishevsky, that is very valuable. And that will show up right up there. And now, saving the best for last. This is a brand new technology released today. And in fact, the press release is going to go out right at 5 p.m. when my lecture is over. Any idea what the picture is showing here? Yes. Yes, of course, with this audience, everybody knows. So this is an artist's depiction of the Tower of Babel. And I'm jumping the gun a bit. The Tower of Babel is a story in the Genesis about how God mixed up the languages of the people and confused them. And this is a story that attempts to explain the origin of multiple languages in the world. And what a mess happened when people started talking in different languages. So that mess continues with us till now. And it has made our life as genealogists extremely challenging. And at MyHeritage, we love challenges. So enter the global name translation technology. What you are seeing in this picture is a search for Jacob Schmidt in English, returning not only Jake Schmidt from a census, but also Yaakov Schmidt in a Hebrew record from IGRA. It returns Russian and Ukrainian records, and it can return Greek records as well. All of this automatically. You don't need to even know how to read those languages. Now, I'll explain how this works. The global name translation technology is useful for any genealogist, but it is particularly useful for us, Jewish genealogists, Because Jewish genealogy data is available in an abundance of languages, sometimes in Latin languages or English, sometimes in Hebrew, Russian, Ukrainian, Greek, Arabic, Turkish, and other languages. It can exist in family trees and documents, records, newspapers, and more. The problem is that most Jewish genealogists, except perhaps my mother, who I have the honor to have in the audience, don't, thank you. Most of them are not polyglots, and they don't speak all these languages. I know my mother does, and she showed me some Greek the other day. But most of us are not fortunate to speak all those languages, and the result of that is that we often limit our research to only one language, the language that we are most comfortable with. And often that language is English. So we are searching in English. And that is not a very good thing, because we are missing out on a lot of information that already exists out there. We simply don't find it because we're all searching in English. That has been the case for the last few decades until today. So what we did is we developed a very, very accurate technology that can translate any name from any language into any other language. And this covers first names and last names. This covers also names we have never encountered before. So give us a name we've never seen before, we will be able to translate it properly. This is based on hundreds of thousands of family trees on MyHeritage that are bilingual. Because when we started MyHeritage 12 years ago, one of the cornerstones of our vision was to allow family trees to be bilingual. It was based on my own need, because I have family in Israel and I have family in the United States, and I didn't want to have a family tree that is either in Hebrew or either in English. I wanted both. And I wanted people from Greece who have relatives in Russia to be able to build a family tree that is in Greek and Russian. Thanks to this data, MyHeritage learned the translations of hundreds of millions of names and was able to infer from those translations how to translate names it has never seen before by breaking up names into small pieces and phonetically dealing with each piece and then stitching the results back together. So the global name translation technology that was released today for the first time is now enhancing our search engine, Super Search, and also all the technologies I've shown you earlier, the smart matches, the record matches, the record detective, the instant discoveries, all of them have become multilingual polyglot technologies. First phase, released today, supports all the Latin-based languages, Hebrew, Russian, Ukrainian, and Greek, Asian languages, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, and others are now in process. We are working on them now. They're not available today, but they will be added very soon. And then we will add more. So, what does this mean for you? It means that you can search now in any language of your choosing. It can be still English, it can be Hebrew, but no matter what language you use for searching, we're going to give you all the results that are available for the people that you are searching for in whatever language the data is in. And because we appreciate that some of the results that we will show you could be in a language that you cannot read, we back translate the results into your own language. And now I'm going to show you some screens of what it actually looks like. Now, actually, before the screens, we found that this technology has one, I have to admit, unintended benefit. It implements a soundex for Hebrew and Russian and Greek, and this has never existed before. Thank you. So here are some examples, and this is for those of you who can read Hebrew. You are searching for Mizrahi, and you will catch Mizrahi any way it is spelled. Ktiv chaser, ktiv maleh, Karo with Aleph, without Aleph, Feldstein with double Yud or a single Yud. Look at the Kotler example. 2 letters are totally different. So now, there is a Hebrew soundex on MyHeritage, and any search that you will do will catch all the variations. In fact, it's better than the soundexes that exist in other languages, including for English, because this is very, very tightly done based on millions of examples that we researched. And also there is a soundex for Russian. And I've given some examples below for the Russian speakers among you. We combine this technology with very powerful dictionaries. Here you are seeing 150 different ways to nicknames of Alexander. So what does it mean? That you might search for Alex in Hebrew, and we will give you Sasha written in Russian, because we know it's the same person, but it's across synonyms, across languages. So you could have done it manually. Good luck searching 5,000 versions of Alexander yourself. We do it automatically for you, for searches and for matches as well. And now for the screenshots I promised. So, on our search engine, at the bottom, you will see a new box called With Translations. And you can turn off the translations if you don't need them for any reason. But otherwise, they are now enabled by default for every search that you do. Here is an example. I'm going to MyHeritage and I'm searching for Masha Klein. Now, I am a Hebrew genealogist. Let's say my English is not that good. I write Masha Klein in Hebrew. Maybe I was looking for Hebrew information about her. MyHeritage will give me Hebrew information about her if exists. But you are seeing here examples of actually English records about Masha Klein with different spellings of Masha in English, with back translations to Hebrew, because I was using Hebrew in my search. So now I can read this information. One search covers everything. Here is something remarkable. My grandmother had a very wealthy philanthropist uncle. His name was Harry Fischel. If I run a search for Harry Fischel in Hebrew, it gives me newspaper results for Harry Fischel in English. How would it do that? Because it is able to translate all the plausible translations for Harry Fischel from Hebrew to English, and then it gives me newspaper results and other records about this person. Of course, these were examples where I searched in Hebrew, but it also works if I search in English. This is a search in Russian. I've been searching, trust me on this, Eva Goldberg in Russian, and I entered the name in Russian, but it's giving me English results in English, back translated into Russian for my convenience. Here I'm searching for Alexander Abramov in English, and it turns out that in Kiev records, we have him, actually as Alexei Abramov. Remember what I told you about the 150 Alexanders. So Alexei is one of them. It's giving me results that we received from Family Search, and it's translating them back to English for my convenience. I would probably never have found this on my own unless I hired a Russian or Ukrainian speaking genealogist. So all of this is now allowing us to gain much more use and benefit from foreign records, because they're now searchable for the first time, automatically. Now I have to give a personal example since my mother is in the audience. And this is a search for my mother's father, my beloved grandfather, Shmuel Nehemiah Isaacson. I'm searching for him in English. Shmuel Nehemiah Isaacson is the search that you see in the top left. And it's giving me Shmuel Nehemiah Isaacson in a family tree on MyHeritage, along with photos of this person. But what it is also giving me at the bottom is the gravestone of my grandfather from the Segula Cemetery in Petach Tikva. And the gravestone is in Hebrew. But it was able to translate my search from English to Hebrew and run it and find the gravestone and translate it back to English for me. So now all of you who are not so good in Hebrew will be able to leverage all the Hebrew data that is on MyHeritage. Just search for it in English and you will find it. By the way, speaking of Gravestone Records, this is the correct way to do it. And MyHeritage photographed and indexed the entire Segula Cemetery, and together with volunteers, also the entire Holon Cemetery, which is the largest in Israel. We finished indexing them. They are fully available on MyHeritage now for free. And if you missed my lecture 2 days ago at the keynote, I gave an announcement that MyHeritage is committed to complete photographing and indexing all the cemeteries in Israel by the end of 2017. Israel will be the first country in the world to have all of its gravestones indexed digitally and fully available with photographs and all the information on those gravestones. We're now progressing at a pace of 100,000 gravestones per month, more than 1 million per year, and we will be finished by the end of 2017. Thank you. All of you who have relatives buried in Mount Olives in Jerusalem and never dared or never had time to go there, seek out their graves, we will do this for you. Take the photographs with GPS information. You will be able to have that information matched automatically to your trees and searchable. Now, this is the correct way that you index information. If a gravestone is in Hebrew, you enter it in Hebrew. You don't translate it in the index because you want to preserve the original information on the gravestone accurately. The technology then allows other people to find it regardless of the language that they are using. This is the correct way to do genealogy. You preserve the original data and you let translation technologies help you find it. Whenever you are translating a name in the index, you are not preserving the original information. You are not allowing people who are searching in the original language to find that. And you are possibly making mistakes because you may be translating differently than what that person used when they were alive. So to summarize, with a global name translation, you will never miss any results that are available again. Any searches that you run in whatever language will include all the other languages. This allows us to add foreign records more easily because now they're more valuable to everyone. I mean, previously, why would we add Russian records? Hardly anybody would search in Russian, but now they will be found also by people searching in any other language. So this really opens the floodgates and allows digitization of all the foreign records you can imagine. And all of this is also working with smart matches and record matches, so you will get automatic matches with records and trees of people in other countries you've never imagined. This is valuable for genealogy everywhere in the world, but particularly for us, Jewish genealogists. And it's available as of today on MyHeritage. To conclude, we are real technology innovators. I've covered 7 technologies. What will we think of next? All of these were built by the fantastic, exceptional engineering team at MyHeritage. I'm very proud of them. These are the pride and joy of the Israeli high-tech community. I'm also proud to have had a contribution in this, in being the person who invented all these technologies. And I know that our competitors are watching us carefully and are trying to copy what we are doing. We are very pleased with this. It's the most sincere form of flattery. And with everyone copying this, one thing is for sure. You will benefit, and the entire genealogy community and everyone worldwide. So thank you.